Hey guys, welcome back to Tiff Talks 22. If you clicked on this video, you likely are already familiar or have already seen images of this particular couple circulating across social media and mainstream media as well. At this point, of course, they become recognizable to many people. Today, however, my intention is not to focus on what was shown publicly, but on what may not have been visible to the outside world. In this reading, we'll be exploring the emotional dynamics, hidden influences, and energetic patterns surrounding Tyrone and Kiara, also known as Lulu, within their relationship. Before we begin, though, I just want to briefly touch on what's been publicly reported, just to kind of establish some context, okay? So, from the outside, their relationship, of course, appeared very loving. On social media, we often saw Tyrone expressing his affection towards Lulu quite openly, sharing moments that included travel, gifts, and other personal experiences. This public image understandably shapes how many people perceive their bond. And it's been reported, of course, as we see in this photo, that Tyrone and Lulu were last together during a trip to Gainesville, Florida, where they had rented a cabin and shared video footage celebrating the Christmas holiday. Shortly thereafter, however, the public became aware of a tragic event that resulted in Tyrone's untimely death. Various accounts have been shared publicly regarding what actually occurred, including statements made by Lulu, who maintains her innocence. An investigation, of course, is ongoing, and no conclusions have been formally established at this time. Today's reading is not intended to determine facts, not to assign blame, or not to replace any investigative process. Instead, we'll look at the energy and the emotional landscape of the relationship itself, not just on that day, but in the time leading up to that tragic day. As always, I approach this work with neutrality and respect for all involved. With that intention set, let's get into it. So, guys, I have part one laid out for this reading, the oracle cards, and we're just going to kind of walk through them, but we'll pause to lay out part two as we get to it. So, in this first part of the reading, we're going to look at what was real, like what was genuinely present in the relationship between Tyrone and Lulu. And the first card, guys, we have is clarity of belief, that Ace of Swords energy. We also have joy and stability here, that Four of Wands energy. We also have the Eight of Wands energy, success and growth. We also have that Empress energy, the nurture card. We also have that Six of Wands energy, believe and succeed. And lastly, we have the Five of Coins energy, feeling alone. Okay, so this is, woo, my goose is already doing what they do. Okay, so that Ace of Swords, guys, swords are going to always be mental energy. It's the energy of communication. So let's look into that at this point, clarifying the Ace of Swords for their relationship. I feel like, intuitively, somebody in this relationship had issues with communication. Look at all these swords, honey. Okay, hold on. And it could be a result of like past heartbreak, past hurts, or past betrayals here. What's the Queen? This Queen energy. Yeah. So we have the Tower with that Two of Coins. So somebody's kind of bouncing between their own pain and their own anger here, and it may be showing up in either how they communicate or how they communicate in relationship. My goose is going nuts. And it kind of could lead to confusion. Like, I just had this thought, so I'm gonna speak it. Bipolar energy. We also have this Four of Swords, which can be an energy of stress or mental health issues, or needing to heal from certain situations or things. It can be an energy of depression. But y'all, we got the Ace of Coins with that Eight of Wands energy and the Queen of Wands. And behind this Queen, the Queen of Wands is often a female energy, feminine energy, who is beautiful, visually very appealing, attractive. But she can be a feisty, fiery, confident energy as well. But look at all of this behind her. There's hurt, there's pain, there's betrayal here that may have created some type of blockage. That Ten of Swords, honey, that Ten of Swords is definitely the energy of overwhelm, exhaustion, defeat. There's one deck that I'm picturing in my mind where it's like an energy of psycho, insane, okay? I'm not applying that to Lulu. I'm just telling you what the cards say. As I clarified this feminine energy, this Queen of Wands, what this is about, and I immediately saw this Tower card energy and this Two of Coins where you're kind of going back and forth with that in that space. It feels like an eruption, an explosion, or explosive type of energy that leads to or creates some type of confusion. Okay. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, once I've exploded, we can move on, we can move forward. And it's like, new start, new beginning. But I'm also a little bit ashamed of that. This is the energy of someone who may be jealous with that Five of Swords energy. Could be jealous or could like to pick arguments or quarrels. They overanalyze, they lose sleep over this obsessive energy of like starting something. It gives me, okay, it gives me the energy of um like somebody who would like test someone's loyalty or like how much they're gonna be willing to accept or put up from me. But that's the result. Ooh, gooses. Yeah. Either before they walk away, before they run, or before they break my heart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Spirit said you speaking the truth. Yeah. This is someone who what's that nine? What's the nine spirit? My goosey's going crazy, y'all. And I got on two pair of pants. We coming off an ice storm, all right? Yeah, and this is a defensive energy. This is an energy to kind of protect themselves. Hmm. This may be someone who actually doesn't feel worthy of the love that they're receiving. Could be someone who's emotionally immature. And in order to like stay protected or stay in that energy of defense, they put up this aggressive wall, like to try to control things. Is what this looks like. And so it's kind of like, okay, to keep myself from being hurt again, then I'm gonna put up these defensive blocks, or I'm gonna try to push this mofo away. So I'm gonna say the most hurtful things. I'm gonna say things that may be harmful, and I'm gonna pop off whenever I want to pop off and see what they do. Right? Sometimes it's to get a reaction, but sometimes it's to keep the person from getting too close. Yeah. And like I said, it's a result of past hurts, past disappointments in love, right? So it's almost the energy of self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So there was already an issue, Goosey's going crazy, an issue of communication in this partnership, in this relationship. But I feel like this is kind of one-sided. Okay. Next, we have this Four of Wands energy, joy and stability. The joy and stability, listen, in traditional tarot, that would be like the Four of Wands, where we're moving in together, right? We're committing, we're taking this thing to the next phase, the next level, right? Um, but that is often in spite of red flags that we've seen prior to, right? It's like choosing to just focus on the good stuff, focus on the happy stuff. What am I saying when I'm saying what I'm saying? Two of Swords. It's like, okay, I saw some signs of my goose is going crazy too. Y'all, I'm excited because I have not read for real like in a couple weeks because I've been, y'all see if you've seen my community tab. So, when you take kind of a break and you go back to work, it's like, hey, is everything still the same? Like, am I still connected? And I know I'm divinely connected. Spirit's been speaking this entire time. However, it's different. It's different. Y'all know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of easing into it. However, there were some things here that they were like, well, that's okay. We're just gonna put a little lipstick on this pig and call it a puppy, right? There was the energy of ignoring red flags that may have been present, maybe ignoring someone's emotional immaturity, and that could have been using that love bombing energy, or like maybe if I love them or shower them with love, they won't have this sharp ass tongue. That's the energy I'm getting. I also have a feeling. What's this with the intimacy? What's this? You know, I okay. I feel like their physical intimacy was not what that was either. There could be someone who like the offer is being presented, but it's not being reciprocated. It's like, I'm gonna present this offer to skirt. Mind you, this is clarifying this card. That's most definitely a card of physical intimacy, but the tower, right? So things were not great in that area. But it's and there's an energy here of like, okay, we're not actually being able to move forward in the way that I would like from a physical standpoint. This kind of can be and probably should be a roadblock of some sort. That hangman, honey, says that hangman is like a spiritual block, right? Where spirit is like, this should not go forward. However, we have the Six of Wands, that ego and image attachment to images and appearances, right? That ego, that abandonment fear, and this conflict behind the scenes, potentially abuse with that. When we see that Five of Wands, it can be potentially abusive. Does not have to be physical. Maybe she in her past, perhaps, because we've seen that Six of Cups, has had some physically abusive partnerships or been abused in some way. Mm-hmm. Or taken advantage of emotionally. And so like the giving and the receiving in love is not there. Absolutely. Yeah, because somebody is defensive and they may be kind of slow to allow themselves to be vulnerable in love because of their past, their history. And it really has created like this imbalance here, or it's showing up that way. What is this lovers here with the hermit? I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, but we'll see. So this could be, yeah, okay. I'll see it. So definitely an energy of someone trying to control the flow of the relationship. That's one. So they may have used physical intimacy. Y'all know what that is. I don't have to clarify everything, do it. To kind of control the dynamics of the partnership. Definitely wanted somebody to be quiet about some things. And okay, dang, Spirit said, Spirit said, you gonna say this or not, right? Listen, we got the Lovers card with the Hermit, right? So for me, that lovers can definitely be a third party situation, a sneaky link, a clandestine affair, something that's hidden about the partnership. And so while I'm over here kind of debating, and this is with connected to the Empress, while I'm over here debating, am I going to say it that way? Spirit's like, let me give you this card, juggling energy. Three of Coins energy, teamwork, collaborative effort. Three of Wands energy. They like, let me put it in your face like this. So it's definitely giving to me like a third party energy as well. Date somebody who was dating multiple people. Mm-hmm. So I don't know whose side that was on, but that feels like part of the instability in the partnership as well. We have also this Eight of Wands energy, success and growth, which could be the energy of things moving quickly in the partnership or the relationship, moving forward quickly, progressing quickly. It could also be the energy of having the tools to create or to build or to enjoy a successful partnership, right? Where you guys are able to move and progress and grow together. But whether you're taking advantage of those things or not, who knows? Yeah. I definitely feel like there was some growth that was experienced between one or both parties, right? In this relationship. However, when it comes to them being on the same page about where the relationship was going, it's a little tense right there. That was like not up for debate, but let's move forward, let's move fast. But somebody, yeah, moving too fast. But somebody's not all the way open to what the other party wanted. So somebody is having to kind of fight for that and then see what happens, see where it goes. This could be an energy where someone was leading with material or their money or finances as well. What's the devil? Yeah. But it's like we look good together. So here we are, growing codependent because we're attached to images and appearances or other things that create like toxic either behaviors or beliefs in this relationship. But publicly, the image is like this new relationship's amazing and it's so full of love. We have this I'm telling you, this masculine here was turning a blind eye. This masculine was ignoring red flags. Okay. And like I intentionally came into this reading from a neutral position because I know what's being said, right? Trying to be sure that I would be able to stay objective. I feel like somebody tried to build stability and family through their finances, but they turned a blind eye to the things that they saw that should have been like, this ain't the way for you to go over here. What's that Eight of Swords? So somebody could. So somebody made a decision or a choice, like to commit further to this partnership or this connection, like just me and you. Let's make this work because of the image or the appearance or the negative attachment. So y'all know, especially if you've ever gotten a love reading from me or if you've seen any of the ones that I posted previously, anything. I'm a firm believer in this. Anything built on a false foundation is going to crumble. Especially now, baby, we is in that era, that age. Whether you want to call it the age of Aquarius or whatever, this is exposure that has been unraveling for the past 2 years. We 2026 for the past 2 to 3 years, right? False foundations have been crumbling, especially in relationships and partnerships, specifically. So that means if you built something on a lie, your lie is coming to light, right? Or it has been over the past couple of years. You guys would be surprised at how many people the public look at like, oh, this is a perfect partnership, which first of all, no such thing. But look at it like, oh, that's such a great relationship. And behind the scenes, it's like, no, no. Even me, with the vision that I have, looking at people in their relationships, I'm like, I won't be surprised if he leaves her, or I won't be surprised if she walks away. And people are looking at the relationship like that, like, oh, it's so wonderful. And I'm like, y'all can't see that. So I have to not say anything, even though I can see it. I have to not say anything because I don't want to be looked at as a hater. You know, you just gotta let stuff unfold. Unless y'all come to me and get a reading, then I'm gonna tell you like a TI is. All right, all right. So yeah, looking at the next cards that we have in this relationship, we have the Empress, the Nurture card, and the Six of Wands, Believe and Succeed, which we've seen several times already, all about images and appearances. And then that Five of Coins, which is definitely the energy of conflict. Let's look at this card specifically. Looking at this conflict, we have emotional matters here with the water. We have lush vegetation and plant growth here. So there, the potential for something good is there. However, these mountains, baby, these mountains and this full moon back here, something is not as it seems. There are obstacles. Someone may feel alone in a partnership. There may be a one-sided situation happening here where someone is overgiving because perhaps the other is not open to it, or some type of other obstacles that are either being hidden, ignored, or just that the public doesn't see. Tell me about this Empress here. And look, there she is. So this could be her in this energy of judgment. Yeah, where she's not wanting to move too quickly, or this is a one-sided situation. It was. But then, yeah, it was. It was. You thought I was feeling you? This was not that. This was not that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know. We're gonna get to it, like the energy further along. Um, but the energy at the time leading up to this, somebody's doing more work than the other party. Let's talk about this 10. Yeah. It's like somebody's proposing and trying to pour their cup of love, and they're met with this energy. I'm telling you, they're met with this energy of boundaries, of blockage, of, yeah, Negro, don't get too close. But here he is, being this bundle and ball of love. My goosebumps going crazy. And here she is, like, 6 feet. Give me 6 feet. Okay? Because I'm saying in Lulu's energy, I'm still kind of assessing this situation. I'm still kind of judging this situation. So I'm still a little defensive, like, what's in my best interest? Maybe what can I benefit the most from? What is this Seven of Coins? What's the Eight of, yeah, honey, what's the Eight of Cups? This is somebody who's thinking there's something better. There's someone better. For sure. Maybe I would be better off alone. This is somebody who, baby, that makes me sad for him. because this is not a reciprocated love. And it feels like, yeah, there is some damage from past situations or past treatment, right? Not necessarily in this partnership, probably relationships prior, that has this person in this energy. But this is somebody who had an ulterior motive from the start, right? They got issues before this relationship even starts. What's the Page of Swords? But it's like what they thinking and feeling about the relationship is not what's presented publicly. I don't know if he had proposed to her. You're my little secret. It's that type of energy. I don't know about the future. However, what's this Taurus energy here? Yeah, this is somebody who was not open to actually being fully committed. They were still kind of going back and forth. But but the financial aspect of it was like where the celebration was. Okay, that disturbs my spirit. I'm trying to stay neutral, so I ain't gonna cuss. But if this was my relative, mhm, I would have some bad words to say from the jump. From the jump, this is somebody who is highly invested in their ego, in appearances, and their ego may create conflict for them as well. Yeah, this is somebody who liked his shine, right? And I say liked his shine. Spirit wants me to clarify that. Okay. I like the attention that I get because they know who I am in relation to you. Okay, let's be clear. That's what that is. But I'm still paranoid that some of that one my lottery ticket's going to expire, whereas you may leave me, find something better. That's one thing. This is my own personal insecurities, financially perhaps as well. So this is someone who may use, even if they're who may use physical intimacy as a weapon of control as well. I'm gonna try to say that loosely. All right. I just heard that song. What's that baby name? I think he's from North Carolina. EJ. He got a song that P too good. Is that type of energy in the song? I don't want to sing it because I don't want to sing that word. It's a bop though, but I don't like that word. But in that song, he's talking about somebody that he know is no good for him, wanting to leave, but feeling like he can't leave because of that, right? So as I'm telling you that, look at this. I want to leave. I want to close this door, but something is keeping me from doing that. Something is keeping me from ending this partnership or relationship because there's some type of negative attachment here with that devil card. The thing about the devil card is my goose is going crazy. The thing about the devil card is it's like something that can be toxic. It feels a little dangerous, right? In the intensity of it. But I'm also getting something from it. Whether that is this person is good for my ego, this person makes me look or feel good, but I don't even actually like this person, but the benefits that come with it keep me here. So it has turned into this attachment that I'm chained to for lesser purposes, right? Mm-hmm. And at this point, we both ignoring these red flags, okay? What's the hangman? What's the two of swords? This is reminding me. This is reminding me of the type of situation where somebody just cuts up so bad, and you're like, "I want to leave. I'm done. This is over," and then they threaten to harm themselves if you leave them. And then you have this person seducing you to make you stay, and now you like, "Dang, I'm confused," and maybe too abused. So even if I do break up with this person, what am I gonna tell people? Right? Like, what will people say outside of that? So, as far as what was real in the partnership, uh, that's the energy underneath. Okay. And so I was listening to this story the other day where this lady was saying, I loved him, and I couldn't put, like, she was doing a TikTok. I think it's called the Danish Deception. And she was saying I loved him, and I was like, no, I couldn't put my finger on it because there was some background information that I didn't have until after I watched her go through this series. And I wasn't gonna watch all of y'all, but I couldn't turn away. The Danish Deception on TikTok. And I was like, nah, you're not gonna let somebody continue to do that, continue to do that, continue to do that without there being some type of underlying issue, right? Something about this you still got to pay off. And then I learned that this was someone who was stuck on, like, she's a black girl, stuck on being in an interracial relationship, right? It's one thing to have a preference, but it's one thing to have an obsession. And I feel like this is somebody who found her value and her worth in this interracial partnership. So it kind of feels like that type of energy where I'm gonna let this person keep dogging me out, dogging me out, dogging me out, because at least I still get to go home with them at night. That's what it feels like. Okay. So let's take a look. I feel like we've already looked at that. The hidden strain on the partnership. Let's take a look at that. I'm gonna pause it because I don't want this to be longer than it needs to be. Yeah, so I'm not even going to clarify these cards. I feel like these are things that we've already spoken on as far as any pressure in the relationship, any imbalance or unspoken tension within the bond. We definitely have someone feeling like the grass is greener on the other side. We definitely have someone feeling financially insecure as well. Like, I wouldn't have all this stuff if this person wasn't my my benefactor, basically. I don't want a deeper commitment, but the coins are good. Absolutely. Maybe this is, listen. This is giving, I'll grow to love this person, but at least I won't be broke. At least I'll get the party. The money is like my goal. Meanwhile, yeah, baby, this is so one sided. This is so one sided. Meanwhile, we have this masculine energy here who is, like I said, leading with his money, with his finances, and not his heart. And I'm saying that like just in watching their clips and seeing, I'm knowing he has this huge heart. He has this desire to give love and to want to be loved, right? He has that. But usually when you lead with money, you are kind of trying to prove your worth or prove your value. Let me show you that you need me, right? So think about that. That's rooted in insecurity. Okay. Um, we also have here the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so that Nine of Swords is, the card here says to seek. In traditional tarot, that is definitely the energy of stress, anxiety, angst, worry, right? Needing to seek the truth. Whew. Had to refresh. Nine of Swords can carry the energy of guilt, can carry intense anxiety for sure. But regret, what is this Nine of Swords energy? Definitely someone dealing with some inside stuff, okay? That affects either their stability or the stability of the relationship or partnership. Because there are some toxic behaviors or mindsets or dynamics here that are keeping me from having the type of relationship that I truly desire. That's mutually loving and respectful. That aligns with me. Someone who may still be resentful of the past. It's kind of like calling yourself having a wife or girlfriend or boyfriend, knowing like I really hate men or I really hate women, right? It's like being resentful of the opposite sex because of your past history and relationships that you've had, but still getting in a relationship knowing like I don't like you like that for real, so I really could give a F what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost it's like you've seen them say things like when a man is cheating. Let me give you this example. A partnership that I was in at one point, this person, one day I like leaned on his shoulder. I leaned on his shoulder and he was like, get off of me. Like he just didn't want me around him at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's wrong with you? That same night, well, shortly after that, actually, when he left the room, I noticed he had been emailing back and forth with another girl. Yeah, that was the end of our situation, our relationship. Because it wasn't a situation, it was a relationship. Uh, y'all know I'll be honest with y'all about that. But yeah, it's like they kind of just may treat you like they don't really want you there, but that's usually because they got other stuff either in their minds or going on, or they feel like there's something better. Is that type of energy something connected to this young lady's past or her history was impacting this partnership? I don't want to say young lady. Hell, it could have been him. I don't think so. I'm just saying past wounds, past wounds, past mental instabilities. Someone too has a history maybe of not speaking their minds, while someone has a history of saying too much. Right? That the clash of those energies, maybe judging or criticizing, or just being a bee. The clashing of those energies made it difficult for this relationship. Yeah, because they weren't changing these things, even if they knew it. It's like they weren't changing these things. They were seeking this love outside of themselves, pursuing that love from the other party, not realizing that maybe you don't even love you, right? And people think just because you dress nice or you get yourself made up, oh, they love themselves. No, not if you still find yourself feeling unworthy of someone, right? So these personal insecurities here, someone feeling like they had to stay or they were obligated to appearances, all of that underlying, okay? So I feel like too, because the next part that I wanted to look at, what is the pattern here? Let me see what comes up. I feel like we've already seen and discussed it. The recurring dynamic, yeah. We're putting in this effort. We have the eight of coins. I'm gonna work on it. We hit this roadblock. Think, but we choose to fight against what we're being told not to move forward from, and then we move forward, and somebody's still unhappy because something that they want in this relationship they don't actually want, or they still feel unfulfilled or have a need that's not being met that makes them look at the past, or maybe step outside of this connection. Oh yes, step outside of this connection. Yeah, because now you live in a lie, because yeah, you got this sneaky link, but yeah, let's work on this because there's a need that you have for in this relationship that wasn't being met. But it's like let me go outside for that part of it, and I'm gonna just lie to you like I'm all in because the money's over here. So it's like we put in this effort, we're being given and shown all these signs from the universe, crown chakra energy, all the signs from the universe. Mm-hmm. And we just steady ignoring these red flags. But let's go on anyway to have this new start, this new beginning, the Fool card energy, the zero. So that's the recurring theme. That's the recurring dynamic, the recurring pattern. Okay. So now let's take a closer look. The day of Tyrone's accident, energetically, what led to the argument or the moment of conflict. I'm looking specifically at the argument because they were at this little cabin, right? That's what they showed us. But then they allegedly left the cabin, which I don't know why, because those cabins are not that expensive. Me and my child, it was supposed to be just for me, but you know how cheering be wanting to block and stuff. He wasn't blocking, he just ended up coming along. Uh, we did that. It is not super expensive. So I don't know what made them decide to leave, but that's a good question. Why did they leave the cabin in the first place? They may have only been up there for content. Why did they leave the cabin in the first place? What is this death card? Aside from something changing, something shifting. Oh, somebody may be getting aggressive, right? Like, let's just go. Because somebody is having trouble controlling their impulses. It's almost like this energy ruined the mood. Child. In my head, I just heard, yeah. So I won't say too much there. So they decided to come back to the city from where they were to get a room or like a hotel room or something like that. And so what I want to look at now is what led to the argument. What led to the argument? So we have the Chariot here. The Chariot can be the literal car, literally in the car. Okay? But it can also be just not being on the same page. And there's this energy of confrontation. What's the Chariot? Let's talk about that. What's this Ten of Swords? Y'all. Okay, I'm seeing a couple things. Somebody didn't want to be physically intimate. That's one. Straight out the gate. There's no other way for me to see that. That's why I'm steady pulling cards before I say it. That's one. What's the Seven of Cups? There's a lot of party energy, like alcohol energy here as well. What's the strength here? Yeah, it's giving like somebody just kind of impulsive with their energy. It may be an energy of like, I'm just here for the finances, for the financial opportunity. If that's over with, then let's go. But it could be like an energy of somebody was drinking or too much drinking, so they can't drive. It's like, well, I don't care, we gonna go. Because this is my card for highway travel for sure. But we have the Hangman, right? So for those of you who don't know, Lulu's foot was in a boot at the time. So I don't think it's that she couldn't drive though, but the way Tyrone was treating her, he was not allowing her to drive. So he was definitely putting her in the passenger princess role. This particular day when they ended up going back to the city, she was driving. And that could be because he was already intoxicated. So that conflict started, before they got in the car. The death card here. Alcohol is playing a major role. Major role is alcohol consumption. Tell me about this 8 right here, Spirit. And then I feel like this triggered someone's abandonment issue. Yeah. What's this 9 that's being eclipsed? It's kind of like something happening that changes the plans. Then that ego. Tell me about the 6 of Wands. That ego shows up and it just triggers everything that was already subconscious that we previously spoke about. Mm. Mm-hmm. Child. So now we're in this conflict. This definitely gives the energy of knowing how to turn it on and off. This is the type of couple that's gonna be talking crazy to each other. How y'all doing, motherfucker? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's that type of energy. With that ace of swords showing up in reverse, somebody is like miscommunicating. There's something being misunderstood. Somebody's jumping to some type of conclusion. What's the hermit here? Somebody definitely was accused of lying or being dishonest. Oh, you just want to go do so and so, so and so. Or you just trying to do this or that. But it's like a miscommunication or misinterpretation of what's being said. Definitely somebody rushed to a specific conclusion and they shouldn't have. Like so much so in this situation that it led to this star card being in reverse, right? So somebody's insecurities got the best of them. So it's almost an energy of you start seeing ish that ain't there. Uh-huh. And it's feeling the need to like, okay, let me get on the defense then. Mm-hmm. Oh, you trying to do something else. So I wonder if he initiated like, let's just leave. You're not gonna drive me and you drunk. Something like that. Like what, I don't know, y'all. This is layered. It's layered for sure. Let's talk about that. I want to talk about that. Definitely some angry energy here. And somebody feeling like they are not in control, right? Like they losing their power or their ability to manipulate. Because somebody's like, now, you know that ain't what I said, or you know that ain't what's happening. You know that's not what this is. And it leads to this confrontation. Now, we already knew that they'd had an argument, at least in the car, but I feel, well, we know that because that's what she shared, Lulu. But I feel like it started long before the car. The car just puts you in a defined space, a confined space, not defined, well, that too, but a more confined space, which makes it even more difficult. So somebody moving into that defensive energy, and it's like, what are they defending? Right? Their ability to be in control of that situation. Yeah. This is like this triggered something. This triggered like a past hurt, a past disappointment, a past emotional wound that she was already carrying. Yeah. A past insecurity that was already being dealt with. And it's like, okay, Whatever this is that's coming up in this confrontation, it's like, oh, it's kind of okay. Show me that, spirit. Show me that. Y'all saw what I was about to say. Archangels. Oh, you're not putting me on a pedestal in this situation? You're not, yeah, I was gonna say this. Oh, you're not gonna try to force me to see things your way? Oh, you're not gonna happily do what I'm telling you to do? Baby, no. So I'm gonna do something different today. Maybe we just need to disconnect. This is somebody who's not you're not used to me talking back to you, right? So your ego's gonna be offended because like who you talking to? Mm-hmm. Oh, you gonna act like wow. So this is somebody who wanted. See, we got that Six of Cups in reverse. This is somebody who the way things played out in this conversation in the car were a little bit different from how they had played out previously. Because something somebody's doing ain't working. You know what I'm saying? And it always works, right? That type of energy, yeah. And so here now, my ability to control this situation or control things is feeling threatened. Like we may not be able to fall into that pattern of a new start or a new beginning. Like this person's not idolizing me like usual. Listen, one thing about an abuser, baby, they don't they're not gonna be more upset. They'll be more upset about you not allowing them to continue to abuse you than they will be about you actually walking away. It's like it's not because I love you, it's because what? You're not gonna let me continue to talk to you like this, but I've been talking to you like this, and you love it, right? It's that type of energy. Wow. Okay. Jeez. So, like the next part of this reading was to look at the immediate triggers and then what was being defended, which I feel like we already looked into that. That core wound of abandonment, loss of control of the other party. Yeah. So I don't know if he was supposed to meet up with friends or family or do something else. So then it feels like, oh, you choosing them or that situation over me. And here I am saying yes, and you're not used to that. So like me, my sense of control or power, my magic ain't working today. My magic is not working today. And that feels unfair to me and causes this impulsive reaction. Mm-hmm. I don't want to accuse nobody, so that's all I'm gonna say about that for now. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's talk about the aftermath of this situation. Let's talk about specifically guides, spirit guides, archangels. Show me Kiara's energy immediately after Tyrone exits the car. What is her energy immediately after he exits the vehicle? I want to use these, I think. Okay. So Spirit just gave me two cards from this Oracle deck. When I asked about her immediate energy afterwards. And then here, hold on, let me interpret these. Clarify this 6 for me, please. It's crazy that okay. Okay. I was just about to say, I don't see a lot of like the emotional aspect, not the softer emotion. I see the anger. I see the assertion, the aggressive energy. I see that. See this wand energy, this ace of wands energy. Wands are naturally fiery energy. So it's some whatever it is aligned with like passion. Okay? But it's like a passionate action. All right? Hold on, let me drink some water. So we got the Ace of Pentacles here, right? And then the Six of Coins. Okay. So the Ace of Pentacles as like a feeling or emotion, there's an energy of being kind of given the green light to do something or to go somewhere, right? This it's like it's kind of like the energy of okay, you said I could, or you said I would, or you said I should, right? It's that type of energy. And then as I clarified this 6 of coins, whatever this action is that I took that I'm comfortable with, I'm like okay with it, like ha, goody goody, right? I'm fine with it. There's like a smugness to it. There's a smug energy to it. What's this 8 spirit? Yeah. There's a smugness to it because now whatever just happened, I feel like I got the upper hand. I'm in control. Yeah. The choice that I made gave me the power, right? If he was, I wonder what his blood alcohol level was. If he was intoxicated or already intoxicated, seems like it would have been easy to let him out the car. What we do know is that she did not stop to let him out the car. I believe that's been confirmed by her. I want to say, well, she may have said she stopped, and then I don't know if there were witnesses. Um, but yeah, it's like I slowed down. That's what it turned into. Is what I remember. I slowed down. You ain't stopped though. You ain't stopped because if you stop, you're gonna stop and pull over, and let a brother out. So and if she stopped, in my mind's eye, it's like stop this person getting out, June, and I'm burning off before they get all the way out. Something like that. Because there is some most aggressive energy behind it. And there's a hidden energy here too, secrecy, where they kind of going back and forth. What's this? Let's talk about this hermit. Oh yeah. I ain't gonna tell his family. Oh yeah. I ain't gonna tell nobody about this. This happy little family dynamic or relationship. Pause. Right? She's thinking this like it ain't that today because of whatever this is that just occurred. She may have been speeding or took off quickly. Initially, yep. What's this new idea? This Page of Swords. Yeah. Okay. So wherever she left him, like I shouldn't have did that, or I shouldn't have let him out, or maybe I should have. So she's like in a contemplative energy, on second thoughts, maybe wanting to confront or have this conversation, a little more clear minded. But then here's the tower. Here's the tower. Mm, y'all, I'm telling you, listen. I know we all grow at our own pace, but what I just heard in my head is the energy of control your emotions, or your emotions will control you. And y'all, listen, I'm 47, and I still have to repeat that mantra to myself before I be cussing folk out and stuff. I'm serious though. Like for real. So the story is that she left him there at the scene, returned back, and by the time she returned back, of course, bypassers had already called for help. They took him to the hospital. While she made it known at the scene that she was his girlfriend, oddly, they still didn't have his name, so he was entered in the hospital as John Doe, the hospital that she later went to, and I guess still failed to identify him because she didn't give them his name, and she did not call his family. 24 hours went by before the family was notified. Okay, so I wanted to know what was her energy at the hospital. Mm, you see it, baby. So the Four of Cups can definitely be an energy of like I would rather be anywhere else, right? Maybe to being kind of emotionally not avoided, but just disengaged. You know what I'm saying? Focused on maybe yourself, not necessarily what's happening there. Can also be like the energy of apathy, right? Like I don't feel nothing about it. I don't feel no way about it. Child, thinking about is this or was that fair? And how can I keep these emotions or this secret or hidden? Okay, maybe she was like, I gotta tell his family. This is somebody who said, like, how can I keep his family uninvolved for as long as possible? Jesus. That's disappointing to see. That's disappointing to see. Mm, for sure. It's very clear, though. How can I keep the family from this situation for as long as possible? And then it's being said that she got the hell out of Dodge, telling them that she was going back to the cabin to get their belongings. And then now this feels like rumor, right? But this is what the aunt is saying. But under the family's own investigation, when they went to speak with the owner of the cabin, the cabin owner said nobody ever returned there. When they left the first time, they took all their stuff with them. So she made up that excuse to get the hell out of Dodge. What is her energy now? Let me pause this because it's long as heck. Okay, so she's definitely experiencing that there have been major changes in her physical reality, right? His absence has affected her, maybe financially. I don't know if they live together or not. Yeah, Spirit said yeah. But it definitely affects her financially. For sure. Look at this. Affects her financially. It affects her level of happiness, her sense of community. So the way this two came out on the half shell, it's not upright and it's not reversed. So I feel like this is somebody who is trying to keep it together, but also struggling to keep it together, right? Not completely unbalanced, not completely unbalanced, but not completely defeated either. Child, listen, let me tell you something. She may feel like she's not completely imbalanced, but when I tell you this shit is giving bipolar, it's giving bipolar. It's giving psychosis. Sometimes when you're mentally unstable, you're so far unstable that you don't realize it is unstable. But this doesn't feel like, I'm crazy. This doesn't feel like that. This is someone who is a prisoner of their own mind, their own emotions, but also feels like they had a right to act the way that they acted and to move how they moved. Mm. Definitely some sleepless nights, kind of restless, having trouble focusing. contemplating like the next steps from a financial standpoint. I say financial, it could be her financial well-being, could be her physical well-being, could be her health, could be her home, her stability. All of these things are causing her great stress. What's that, Hermit? She may be around a group of people, or a small group of people, I should say, but she still kind of feels alone and isolated. Yeah. Tell me about this. Y'all, baby, I feel like this is somebody who's still kind of putting on, right, for the public. It doesn't feel like putting on a brave face. It feels like, no, it doesn't feel like putting on a brave face. It feels like, oh, I'm supposed to be sad right here. Okay, let me act real sad. Like people expecting me to look sad. Let me look sad. Yeah, Spirit said you said that. I should look torn down right here. Let me do that. I do feel like she feels like things are at a pause or kind of up in limbo. She definitely feels judged and criticized by family. Oh, it's crazy because this feels like mental overwhelm, mental exhaustion, perhaps, self-inflicting kind of energy, right? Contemplation of self-infliction kind of energy. But at the same time, I feel like if once the police make it clear or law enforcement makes it clear that they are ruling it no fault, she'll be fine. I feel like she's prepared. Yeah, she's preparing to defend herself. Oh, for sure. And she's super restless until then, until she either knows if she has to or not. She doesn't regret it though. It doesn't feel like regret. Like it doesn't feel like authentic regret. It feels like I hate it ended that way, but it ain't my fault. That's what that feels like. That's unfortunate. Spirit, show me what it is that we were supposed to learn from this situation, so we don't get lost in the rumors or the narratives, right? What is it that we don't see about this connection? Listen, when we force partnerships, when we ignore red flags, when we carry resentments from past situations into our relationships, when we refuse to see the signs and symbols that tell us that it's time to close the chapter, this is the reality that we create. Not only the repetition of cycles, for sure, the repetition of cycles, but challenges that we even have to have if we had just chosen to do things differently in the first place. What we can learn from this, I've already said, dropped so many gems. Control your emotions or they'll control you. It's okay, guys, to not move forward in relationships. Don't allow your morals or your standards to be compromised for a coin. If that ain't what you like, that ain't what you like for $1 either. If that ain't what you like, that ain't what you like for $5 either. If that ain't what you like, it ain't what you like for $100. You don't want to be there, don't be there, right? Don't allow your ego to trick you into building false foundations. It's okay to be alone, to do some soul searching before you move into a new or different partnership. Work on yourself. Give yourself the love that you are seeking in other people, that you use to validate you. Because maybe once you've given it to yourself, you'll never chase that shit and nobody else. I assure you that. I am living proof. Okay? Once you validate you, you won't seek a partner's validation. You know that you attract, not chase. Does that make sense? Right? So if it's for you, it's for you. You're not gonna make something be what it ain't. You're not gonna settle for things that are below the standards that you set for you. None of these things. Um, yeah. I hope this was helpful, guys. I know it took a while for us to get here, but that's a moot point. We here now. Take what resonates. Bye bye.